Sorry, technical difficulties. Give me one. There we go. Can't let that play or else I'm gonna get in trouble. Hi! We're back.
Kinda. Okay.
So. Well, isn't this a shocker? Should have realized it's a work week, but it's 8 o'clock at night, so. Awesome possum. Hello! We're back on our BS as I quickly fix my camera. So, we're gonna try to get more MSQ done today, but we're queued position 1000. So you know what that means, folks? Miniature time until we get things. Oh, actually. Just... There we go. Got me a new boy I'm working on right now. Thought it'd be fun to make myself a little tactical squad for funsies, and so I'm trying that out tonight. And we got all kinds of paints to work with, so I'm going to go to the Be Right Back screen while this is trying to log in, and I'm going to try as much as I can get some painting done in the interim. Because Lord knows, I apologize for the mic sounds here, queues are going to suck. Everything cut off in the background? Yeah. I don't know if any of this will help or not, but let's see. I will do the Be Right Back screen with the music play, so be right back. And we're back, thrillingly to find out we've barely moved. Woo! There's a reason why I grabbed the stuff I grabbed, including ever delicious and oh so nutritious cranberry juice. Don't ever get a UTI, anyone. Not a fun time. Or not a UTI, kidney stones. Either one, they're not fun. But I've also got, more importantly, water that I'm going to use for painting. So, we're going to start by quickly double checking our older models we have for some touch-up work. Need a brighter light. This, just because I need to be able to see. What we're doing is we're working on different little figures like this with our little holder. Good, there's no branding on this. Don't want to support any companies or anything. I don't want to get in trouble. So we've got, even though I just showed a giant Disney mug, but either way, the white brush, detail brush, which is my thin one that I have lost the cap for somehow magically. Other detail brush. Yeah, this should all be good. So now let's get here. Not much. Oh. One thing about any kind of painting you do, you gotta shake up the paint a bit in case any chemicals come loose. So that way you can get it all nice and mixed up and it looks even when it comes on your model. Three nice size drops. Should be all we need for working with our models. Working right now with a German colors green, or a German colors pale brown. This color here. I don't know how you can see it or not, but it's a very pale brown. That's what we're using on the backpack of one of our guys. Sorry. And actually, the little guy I showed you before is not who we're going to work on. We're going to work on this abomination of a miniature here. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but never, ever painted faces before, and this guy came out horrendous. I'm hoping that with washes and stuff it won't look as bad, but the rest of the model looks pretty good. Just got some touch-up work to do on the little knapsack at the back there, which is what we're doing here. I'm expecting that cues are going to be pretty bad. So, for now, you're just going to get the joy of happy little painting with little old me. Hi there everybody, my name is Nick Smith, and today we're going to be doing ourselves some happy little Warhammer painting while we're waiting for our Final Fantasy cube. So make sure you got all the right colors on hand right now. If you're wanting to paint along at home, we are currently using a mixture of branded paints from Vallejo, a very reputable company for making high quality paints in these beautiful little dropper bottles. And we're going to have ourselves Citadel paints, known for their bullcrap overpriced stuff, but it does have some good quality. For the Vallejo paints we're going to be using today, we've got ourselves a Vallejo straight white, we've got a Vallejo German gray, a Vallejo natural steel, and of course that pale full color German brown from before. Make sure you got all those in hand. And for the Citadel paints, we got ourselves a Dryad Bark, Abaddon Black, a Lead Belcher, and an air version of the Corn Red. Because you see, I'm big stupid and thought that this was just a big tankard for the Corn Red. This is actually airbrush paint, but surprisingly it goes on nice and easy. So we're going to have. So what we're doing right now is we've got our little dry palette here. Highly recommend getting a wet palette that you can reseal so you can use those paints later. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run, unlike what I'm doing as a big fat dingus and wasting a whole bunch of paint while I'm sitting here working on my models. But first thing we're doing is we're getting ourselves some water, putting it on this Vallejo German colored pale brown, and mixing it up so we got a nice liquidy consistency. Don't want anything too liquidy, but something that'll give us a nice color. So we just take this brush here, I've already done it myself, but we put it in, dunk it in a few times, get a couple drops on, mix it in with our paints that we have here on the little dry palette. We're going to get it to a nice, somewhat liquidy consistency. And from there, we're going to just dunk our brush in and go. Now make sure that when you're working with this, that you're not doing too much paint on the brush. You don't want this to be all gloopy and gloppy when you get it on the model. What I like to do is I'll get very little bit on the brush. And just dunk it in ever so slightly, roll off the excess. You got just a tiny bit on the brush. And this is just touch-up work. So we're going to go right here. Tiny little line right there. And just do tiny little strokes and brush bits so that way this can get the full color it needs. Try not to let it spill or splash over on anything else. So that way we get, again, that nice full rich color from the pale brown, exactly where we want it and how we want it. Remember, the beautiful thing about paints is that there's no such thing as making a mistake. We've got the beautiful ability to go back and touch things up with other paints, or we even can get a little bit of water on our brush, go back in and fix any mistakes that we make. Remember, this is your model. You paint it the way you want to paint it. And all that we really did, so I can show the pretty little camera here while I'm working. I wish I had a camera, you know, a nice size to sit right beside me here, but I'm a just recent graduated college student. Got my bachelor's in science, which is exciting, but I'm a college student, which means I'm broke as hell. So while we're sitting here waiting for this cue, I will tell you specifically what I'm doing and tell you the touch-ups I'm doing by pulling the model up here. So you might not be able to see it, but this little knapsack he's got on the top there, we're going through and we're doing little bits and touch-ups. I did a little bit around the edges here because, believe it or not, the base coat for this model is going to look something very similar to, if I can not knock 30 things over here, it's very similar to this. We put these little plastic bits together and then we get them super glued in the position we want. Then we do a nice flat black finish to it. I'm actually thinking about going with the polished black because it makes the models come out just a tiny bit prettier. And once we get done with that little black bit that we do there and get it nice and covered, we go back through with a base coat. The base coat's done specifically so that way we can not having to worry about filling out certain little bits and bobs while we're working on the model. In this case, I thought I'd try something a little different, and you can probably see, I can get the light on it. Uh-oh. You can probably see, thanks to the big light here, there's a nice little silver color all on that armor there. If I can get the camera to focus. There it goes. That silver detailing all over his armor there, well, that's just the base coat. So we're filling in all the gaps and doing what's basically, as Marcus from the Cosmonaut Variety Hour calls it, a very high level and advanced coloring book, just with little plastic figures. So, we did the little touch-ups on my man's knapsack right there, so that's pretty nice and dandy. Honestly, I would like to go back with a little bit of my Citadel Dryad bark and touch up the gun just a smidge, but I'm not going to worry about that right now because we've got a lot of this pale brown here. Actually, I'm going to go through with our little grenade man I was showing before. And even though it's not a color I'd start off with immediately, I usually like to pick one color to start at the base and then move on. Just so we can get the full details in and get some use out of this paint before it starts drying up, I'm going to go back in here and do his little knapsack right now. While we're working on the knapsack, we're going to get ourselves some beautiful little details and bits and pieces in here. Oh, I accidentally got a little bit on his backpack buckle. Now, the beautiful thing is, if you ever have something like this happen, as long as you're not too sluggish about it, you can clean your brush off, get it nice and dry, go back over where that paint is, add just the tiniest dab of water to get the model wet, let the water soak up that paint, you dry your brush off now, that you got a nice dry brush, touch that spot where the paint was, and once that's done, you are good to go. I don't know how well it's going to show up, so we're going to try our best here. Basically, if you look at the back of his backpack there, let's see if it'll show up. There we go. It's very, very small detail, but there's these two little tiny buckles right on his knapsack there. I ain't going to zoom in, but that's fine. Basically, I got a little bit of paint on it, and it's no big deal. I got to clean right on up. Remember, this is your model. You paint it however you want to paint it. While we wait for this agonizing little queue here, we're just going to keep on painting these miniatures. And I'm going to remind you that tonight we are going to be doing more Shadowbringers MSQ because I am slow as molasses in the middle of winter. So right now. But on the plus side, we're going to get a little bit of painting done while we're waiting for the queue to pop. And we can get the MSQ done, thankfully, without having any kind of major congestion or connection issues because I'm not playing in any of the new areas yet. Unfortunately for me, my hope was that since I was behind when everything was going on with this particular expansion, that it would give the devs a chance to get things caught up and fixed for all the newer areas, and that by the time I got through to them with all these people rushing like it's the sales down at the Bojangles right after church, that maybe, just maybe, I might be able to get myself a little bit of quality one-on-one time with this here expansion. But unfortunately for me, just didn't quite happen because the devs are struggling with some microchip thing going on around the world, so we're stuck with this. Also, I'm going to cut the voice now. I'm trying to Bob Ross as much as I can, but at the same time, I'm like redneck Bob Ross, so I'm not even going to try. One thing I will say, if you are ever interested in painting miniatures, is that you definitely want to make sure you don't have too much paint on the brush at any given time, or else it'll glob up in one spot, which can get really annoying. Now that by itself is not the end of the world, because the beautiful part about this is that you can get some of that paint, and as long as you re-soak the brush up when it runs out and reapply it somewhere else, you get a surprising amount of detail and spread on your paint by putting in enough time and practice with this. It's a beautiful thing about a lot of things in life is that if you practice at it long enough and hard enough, you'll get good at it. I am by no means a professional with painting. Not even close, because this is my first time ever really doing mini painting, but I will say it is extremely fun and satisfying as you see these different layers come on and you see the model get just that little bit more detail as you're working. Again, I am not an expert at painting, so I do not pretend or profess that I know what I'm doing. Let's see. What I'll do while we're waiting on this queue to continue to climb down is I will stop and show you what I'm going to work on next, paint it, and then show you the result. Now, if you are someone who is interested in 40K and need to know about some painting stuff, I highly recommend the YouTube channel Midwinter Miniatures. They are very, very good at what they do. He's got some great tutorials, he and his wife, on how to paint stuff up properly. And I have watched his stuff off and on to kind of get a good idea of what I need to do and how I need to do it. Now, go ahead and show you really quickly what I've done. I'll give another model a quick grab here so you can see kind of what I'm working on this guy. It's not a one-for-one, but I'll show you. So currently what we're working on, if you can see where my finger is right above it, there's this little knapsack thing that we got here. I have gone through on the model I'm working on, and we put in that color for that knapsack. That pale brown for this particular army I think really pops and makes it look good. So that is one of these guys done. I'm going to go through all the models really quickly and try to do this knapsack with this paint so that I'm not wasting anything. Currently, I have one model completely done, ready for a wash. Washes are just basically heavily diluted paints, like for example, the ever-infamous Nuln Oil. I also have access to another wash called Agrax Earthshade, which is something I use on a different army with different color schemes and stuff on them, so that's one that I can possibly show off at some point. Unfortunately, my desk is a gigantic mess right now, so we're gonna have to clean that up at some point. Move some stuff around here real quick so it's not as bad. We're just gonna keep enjoying some painting while we wait for the queue. And on top of that, I've got a whole boatload of miniatures, sorry for the microphone sounds, that I am currently not doing anything with, regardless if they need to be painted or not. We're going to pack those up so they take up less space on my desktop. Now, really quickly, I will show you. I have a lot of minis I need to paint. So far, out of all the stuff I have painted to close to completion, I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 models painted close to completion. But unfortunately, I have about 40 or 50 more I need to paint, and that's just troops and like officers and stuff like that. That's not even including the special vehicles and stuff like that. So, or some of the odd and end troops and stuff like that that I haven't even touched yet. So we're trying to get it worked on little by little and do the best we can with what we got. Let's see. So these are the primary paints I am going to use. So let's keep working. Again, same as before. Pull this microphone a little bit closer. Got that little knapsack thing we're working on. Just gonna work on painting that while I'm waiting for Q to pop, which we're getting closer. Started off at about 1600. We're now at 720. Only it was 300 less. Then it'd be nice. As we be closer to getting out of Q. That's the only reason why it'd be nice. I don't know what anybody else was thinking. We're just going through and we're painting our minis. The nice thing too is that once you get this paint on here and get going with it, it's gonna look one color, but once your paint's dry, they come out with the nice hue you're kind of looking for. And what's great about this particular color is that it's going to get even darker than it is now, because this is going to end up having a wash put on it. I'm going to do the best I can to apply a brown wash, maybe even just a black wash. I technically can apply both colors to it, but I want to try to stick to one wash for the model overall at a time and not try to get fancy with like multiple washes on the same model at the same time. So for now, we're just getting some paint slapped on here. Let's get this going. Now, I know people think you have to have a steady hand to do mini painting, and fortunately, that's not 100% true. You can't shake too horribly when doing this, but as long as you don't have really bad shakes, like my grandmother unfortunately has, you can probably do this pretty darn effectively. And if you get stuff anywhere, then just, again, go back over with a little bit of water on a brush. Greenworks is also one of your best friends for working with any kind of mini painting, because Greenworks does strip away a little bit of paint, but it's completely safe on your plastics, which is why people prefer to use it so much when they have to strip a new model down to whatever base color you need it to. So, getting this worked on some more. Model. Most of the way there on this particular knapsack. Laying a little bit more in some of these little grooves and cracks so that the silver stops bleeding through. That is one thing that is a bit of a downside to using a silver base coat, is that when you want paint to get into certain spots so that it'll properly cover stuff, you need to get a decent amount on there so it'll actually cover things up like you want it to. But I do think, as we're getting closer and closer to the queue letting us in, at least on this one, again, not perfection, but you can see, it'll zoom in, get these two. There we go. Did a pretty good job getting all the little grooves and bits and pieces in there. So, we got another model done. For the backpack at least. Now I've got one of my... What is this? Flat finishes? See how the paint goes on this mini, because I have a feeling it's going to be a little weird on me. Let's see though. Still 497. At the least, if he gives me 420, that'll be kind of fun. Very nice. Getting there very slowly. How's the queue? Still the same. I apologize for not being super talkative in here. Trying to just focus on getting the paint done. And not letting it splash and pool up in too big of these globs here, so that way I'll get in all the little grooves, cracks, and surfaces that I need it to. Actually have a big glob that I put right in this little crack area here, so we're going to dry our brush off, see if our brush can soak up some of this. Yeah, just a little bit. Now again, if things run off or spill over or anything like that, it's not a big deal, because as long as we are not going to hog wild with it and let it get everywhere, you're going to be pretty well set. So like for right now, again, best I can so it'll cover. Come on, you. Focus, please. There we go. You can kind of tell the backpack has a little bit of extra runoff from the knapsack onto it. So we'll go back later and touch that up with our Dryad bark, which is the color of the belt straps and the boot straps and things like that. So I'm going to go through here and just do the last little bit of touch-ups on this knapsack. Try and get all this detail in here as much as we can. There we go. Another knapsack down. Go back later and do the black detailing and touch all this up. But again, like I said, I really want to get this knapsack taken care of on every model I can get it taken care of on. Still 497. Still waiting. More and more detail in on this model as we can. Oh, we're still at 497. Hey, oh no, we're at 422. You were so close to greatness. You were so close to greatness, but no, couldn't have it. Oh well, if I can get position number 69, that'll make me happy. Because, you know, means that we're almost in. Alright. I think that's another knapsack down. Now, I said I'd be showing the before and after. I'm showing the before and after on the stuff that I have not done yet. Hey, 347, nice. Mostly, though, I'm not going to show too much of this, if only because y'all are going to see these knapsacks a lot while Q's going here, so I don't think it's as big of a deal to show every individual knapsack that I'm doing. But, for argument's sake... kind of see the backpack that we got there next to the knife and everything. Bone painting. Oh, we're waiting for the cube. $273. We're creeping closer. Well, that was interesting. Headphones supposed to die? Oh. For some reason my headphones turned off. That was interesting. We're creeping ever closer to getting in. 201. Very nice. Got another backpack down, still 200 away. Or knapsack. The whole backpack will be done when I apply a variety of different colors. Variety? Why did I say that? I don't know. So, I've got one more backpack after this guy. I'm going to leave this paint in here and just unfortunately let it dry out because I don't really have any other spots to use it. Probably could have done 2 drops instead of 3 drops, but that's the nice thing about these paints is that a little bit goes a long way. Again, normally what I would be doing with these models and stuff is getting the big spread swooping stuff done first, which there's a lot of black detailing on these models, so I would be doing that more than anything else first and foremost, because there's a lot of black detailing to get in. But I just grabbed this color paint, figured out where I needed to put it, and just decided to start going from here. Got a big blotch right there, see if I can spread that out. Still 201. We're getting closer and closer, but we're not quite there yet. Alright. Still 201. Nice. That. Still 201. Just waiting on that. Now, for those that might be interested, and so that way I can actually fill this dead space a little bit without people popping in here like, what the hell is this guy doing? I am currently painting miniatures for the game Warhammer 40,000. Now, part of why I am interested in this hobby is because I've heard a lot about the universe that it encompasses, and it's a fun little universe. Very grim, very dark, very depressing. Very, very bad stuff that they preach in there, but it's all meant to be satire. You're not meant to identify with it or take it seriously. Unfortunately, there are individuals out there who do, and that's part of why we've got problems in the community. It's part of why Games Workshop had to come out and straight up say, look, the universe that we are in, that we make stories and stuff in, is meant to be grim dark. Our community is not. If you got a problem with that, we are not going to support you, yada yada yada. So the thing is, this game, for the game itself and for the hobby building and all that jazz, is really not a big deal. It's just some people, like in every community, unfortunately, take things a little too far in one direction or another and ruin things for everyone else. But in this fantasy sci-fi universe, I prefer to play as the everyday average Joe soldier, the Imperial Guard or Tempestus Scions specifically. I can show you a completed one really quick, just to show you how badass these guys are. They are basically like Special Forces troops. Here we go. As soon as it focuses. These guys are basically Special Forces troops, where their whole shtick is they drop in from vehicles and do all kinds of dirty work and basically precision strikes and stuff like that. This guy's currently holding a plasma gun, which is a very heavy-hitting single-target weapon. It has 2 firing modes that can do a lot of damage at the cost of possibly blowing myself up, but no biggie. Because we are expendable. It's kind of the downside to the Guard/Scions. They are basically made of paper, but they hit like trucks. So, I am now done with my pale brown. We are almost done with the Q as well. But while we wait, I'm going to mix up my next paint, which is the Abaddon Black. We've got our little radio man here. I'm going to go back and do some touch-up work on. What I'm doing is I've gotten the little tankard thing here that's got this little lip that you can touch for paint and put on something else. These little tankards suck. Try to avoid these if you can. There's color charts and stuff you can find online to give you a better idea of what a one-to-one relationship to Abaddon Black is. However, oh no, I'm position 1? Oh, I'm gonna be stuck at the 1 spot forever. Also, I missed 69. Oh well. But what I've done is I have added my black paint and I've watered it down. Always remember to thin your paints, folks. So that way I can try to get some of these little areas I need touched up. Still position 1. About to be in queue in just a second here, so it's not gonna, or in the game in just a second here, so it's not gonna matter too much, but we've got our paint watered down. I'll do this off and on in between queues for dungeons and stuff, because I know I've got story dungeons going up here soon. Yes, I'm still position 1, I can see that. I'm just going over right now some spots I missed on this model with my little radio man. And these mild little touches and touch-ups, we are just very gently putting the tip of our brush near the spots we want to and dragging paint over towards it. And then I'm going back over some very broad stroke areas and spots that I missed. And get this black paint to kind of seep in where I need it to. Oop, bumped the mic there, sorry about that. And hoping I'm going to look up at some point here very soon. It's going to say I'm popping in. Not quite there yet, though, so I'm gonna keep waiting. Still player position 1, my god. Okay. Beautiful. Got some touch-ups done. Actually, I got another spot I can get. Still waiting to get in. Still position number 1. Position 1 still. My gosh! The last person's just refusing to log off. Alright. I think I am good on my little radio man here with the black touch-ups. So what I'm gonna do now is airbrush real fast. And I'm going to very quickly, because I still have some leftover black paint on the brush, I don't want to waste that. I'm going to shake up and use a little bit of this airbrush red. And the nice thing is that because this is an airbrush ready paint, it can go straight into your little tankard area for your brush. So normally you would have to thin this, but it's already so liquidy smooth as it is. I'm just going to spread it right onto the model. Make sure to spread it out so that way if it does anything, it might run just a little thin or a little wet, but I'm not going to go too hog wild with it. And we've got these 2 little buttons I'm going to try to tap on real quick with the brush. Hey, we're getting in! God, I'm here in the story and I've got going on all the time. Right. I think this little tiny bit of black might go a little wasted, but that's okay because we're here to play 14, not to do mini painting, as fun as it is. Just close up our tankards nice and tight to make sure they are indeed closed. Put them off to the side here. And pick back up with MSQ. Ready? Let's go. Lights moved over. What's up, Pistola? Looking upon these structures, I cannot help but remind of the ruins of Irbanya. Yet the manner in which they appear to be suppressing the natural flow of ether is more akin to the Alagon pillars in the House of the Crooked Coin. Interesting. What's up, Adamant? You were able to keep up, I see. Well done. Oh, you know me. Only lagged behind for like 30 hours. Ahead lie the Morning Stars, 4 monuments built in tribute to the guardians of Rokatika. Let me put my crayon juice off to the side here. Doesn't need to spill on anything. Along with my mixer to go with it. Beyond them is the Great Pyramid of Uxner, where the magical flow must be restored. It is said the monuments are themselves the keys to opening the pyramid, though I know not how. That is for you to discover. Another puzzle. Wonderful. I would have a closer look. Go do your thing, Ishtola. While I'm at it, we're going to run around and do a little bit of damage, so we can try to level up our red mage here. Probably don't even queue up for the MSQ. Whoa! must have fat-fingered something, or we are getting some major lag. Yeah, we're getting some latency or something. Okay. What's up, Almet? What's up, mommy? Let's see. I must confess, there are times where I too wonder what lies in the ruins, but I would never defy the orders of the Emperor. Okay. It is indeed another puzzle, but for a blessing, it appears to be similar to the one we encountered at the lake. These statues are a depiction of the divine beast mentioned on the tablet. No doubt they will open the way into the pyramid in a like manner. We must but discern the correct door. Let's split up and search the area for clues. These ruins are covered in ancient inscriptions. The answers may be lying among them. Indeed, it may be best to transcribe them if they are as numerous as you say. Better than risking overlooking something. Though transcription would prove impractical for you, not being versed in the wrong Tika scripture. No matter, you will employ a different approach. Impressions. Okay, here. I had thought to use these clay tablets to record any significant imagery we discover, but they will serve you just as well here. Take an impression of each inscription you find. We will start at the base of the pyramid and begin at the top. When you have finished, return here and I will translate your findings. Cool. So this is why we're going to run to the top of each pyramid. That is a... That's a tiny chocobo! Well, you know, small chocobo for the small people, so it makes sense. Ah, it's in time! That's cool! Play tablet. Read what it says on the next one. You take an impression of the writing inscribed on the monument. Let's go here. Alright. Oh, excuse me. Nice. This is my favorite job! I should be leveling this above everything else, but it's all good. I'll admit, there are so many inscriptions I scarcely know where to start. Nice. I like that they did it just in time for everything, so that's pretty cool. The simple tablet made of clay used to preserve the inscriptions of ancient relics. Let's use it! And take an impression. Yep. I don't know if it's the same going down as it is going up. I could try and match it with the time, but the fact that it matches a little bit with the music going up where you hit the spacebar in time, that's actually pretty fun. I'm sure that was not intentional, but... Ah, she's a Percy Jackson fan. Alright. Oh, please don't die. Yes, okay. It's always sad when I can't finish my combo, but we are now going to finish the combo because... we're going to go holy. Yeah, we're doing this mainly because of the fact that I want to try and get this job leveled up as much as I can. And we'll do that and heal ourselves. So now we're going to walk up the ruins here. Oh, I messed up. You can do it in time with the music. That's so good. Alright, let's go up. god. Seriously? I just had somebody spoil something for me in frickin' Free Company chat. Oh my god. Now, for everyone in here, I'm not going to say what was said in my chat, so that way there is no spoilers, but needless to say, I'm not really happy right this second. What a freaking asshole, though. Yeah, I'm upset about something that happened, and even though I know that spoilers, I don't care at this point, I'm just going to say this because it really irritates the mess out of me. How stupid can you be? Well, I've got the full 1-2-3 combo, so the ads are preventing me from getting to Y'shtola, which you kind of are, and I'm going to justify it by just diving in. Go. Dark. That's it. There we go. We're getting it. Oh, Y'shtola's here. I trust you made good use of the clay tablets. Yes, we have, Mom. You got Y'shtola. Good job. Allow me while I decipher what you found. Apologies for the delay. Now we saw at the base of the pyramids what gave... Now, nothing we saw at the pyramids gave hints to any of the solutions of the puzzles, focusing on how to proceed in having it solved. Or having solved it. Your findings, however, on the other hand, appear to be a form of riddle. Once assembled, it reads as follows. Come together, share despair. Go thy ways, dread burdens bear. Mark the crown, heed its call. Avert thy gaze, forever fall. Ooh. Oh, that sounds like prophecy of some kind, and that's a little sketch. That'll be interesting to see. I assume the puzzle would involve a sequence, but from what Almet and I were able to gather, is but a matter of suffusing one of the statues with ether. Question being, which one? Have you any thoughts? Come together, share despair, go thy burdens, dread burdens bear. Mark the crown, heed the call, avert thy gaze, forever fall. Such cryptography have you related any to the divine beasts? Oh my gosh, really? Well, we're doing our thing. See that pro gamer move there? I dodged out of the attack before he could even get it off, got 2 casts off, and managed to hit him. The serpents are looking away, and the Corel is looking away as well. The owl is looking towards them. The Colibri is looking this way. Oh my god, come on. Jeez, alright, well, that's fine. Again, we're getting levels doing this, so that's fine. Just let me do my full 1, 2, 3 combo and I'll be fine. Boom. I love that animation. Let's see. Oppo statue. Facing towards the wolf. The wolf is facing towards the Oppo statue. These two are facing opposite each other. This is facing away from everything else. The two are working together. Let's hear this again. Come together, share thy despair. Go thy ways, dread burden bear. Mark the crown, heed its call, avert thy gaze, forever fall. Okay. It has to do with the direction that these are looking. And it has to do with... Let me chat with Yushitola real quick and see what she says. Given your talent for finding solutions to vexatious problems, I think it's best that you choose a statue. What do you say? Nope. Basically saying if you need more time to think about it, think about it. Speaking of thinking about things, I need to go and ponder my orb for just a hot minute. So I'm going to leave the music going, and I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I missed out on my cue. Those things happen. Oh, it took away my reward because of my penalty. Ooh, that's bad. Okay. I apologize, y'all. We're going to talk about this again. Come together, share despair. Go thy ways, dread burdens bear. Mark the crown, heed its call. Avert thy gaze, forever fall. So... this is going to be interesting. The corral is looking off by itself. The snake is looking off by itself. So obviously that is not the one that we want to be looking towards. I am going to guess the Colibri and the Oppo Oppo statue are both looking towards the wolf. Let's try the wolf statue. Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that they're looking together, they're united, they're not standing alone. So let's try the wolf statue. Right then, after you have selected a statue, I'll imbue it with the required ether. Should it prove to be a trap, I'm more than capable of warding off malign tricks. Now, which statue should we try? Let's try the wolf. I think that's it. Because the wolf is the only one that multiples are looking towards. Ah, sorry. It's not the wolf. I'm fine, though. I'd rather not go through that again. Okay. Next time, choose more carefully. One more time. Yes, of course, I have it written here. Come together, share despair. Go thy ways, dread burdens bear. Mark the crown, heed its call, avert thy gaze, forever fall. Inspire you? You look again, I guess. Oh my god. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Come on. And of course, number fire ready. It might be the Colibri statue because these two are looking towards each other. This is looking to the north. This is looking to the south. These two are looking away from each other, so we don't want these two. Sure, I'll try one more time. Wait. Which one is it? I am just very dumb, I apologize. It's not the serpent, it's not the Corel. Colibri, that's what I'm looking for. So let's try the Colibri statue and go from there. If that's not it, I don't know. Offer you totally your thoughts. Try the Colibri statue. I pray this works too, because I don't want you zapping yourself. This isn't it, is it? Ugh. Go through the again. I don't want you to either. Okay. Hold on. Let's try and pick one that's not looking at anyone else. Maybe it's the owl? Okay. These two are not looking at each other. The owl is looking towards the corral. The Colibri is looking towards the wolf. The Oppo statue is looking towards the wolf statue. I don't want to have to, like, guess this. I want to figure it out. Because, yeah, if you do this, you notice it's facing away from the serpent is facing away from the corral. That, I don't care about that. The Colibri statue is facing south towards the woods. The owl statue is facing north towards the green. It's the owl. Let's hear the poem one more time. I'm betting it's the owl. Come together, share the despair, go thy ways, dread burden bears. So it's not the first two statues, it's not the last two statues. Arc the crown, heed its card, avert that gaze, forever fall. So you're looking towards the crown, so it's gotta be the owl. It has to be the owl. Let's try the owl. I think this is it. On. Yes. Because you don't want them looking together, you don't want to look them away from each other, and you don't want to look towards the woods, you want to look towards the pyramid. Oh, okay. I'm 74. So here's what we're gonna do. As much as it pains me to do this, we're going to grind a little bit on mobs. God, I'm even again. Great. It's okay though, because we can do this. Nice. Okay. God, dual cast is a beautiful thing. Oh, I got hit by that? One moment, y'all. Okie dokie, folks. We're gonna have to pull out of queue real quick, and I will unfortunately need to be right back. In fact, at this point, with everything going on and with it getting late, I might just have to call it here, unfortunately. Which is unfortunate because I want to progress MSQ, but given time, given a few other factors, and oh my gosh, the dropped frames. Alright, so unfortunately we're going to stop streaming here for the day. I'll try and just string this in with another stream or something later. It's best I can do. So either way, I will catch y'all later. Peace.